Balance Ball Trainer, and today we're starting our new series, and it is Pilates on the Balance Trainer. So welcome, happy Friday. I hope you're going to have some fun plans this weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend, so a big shout out to all the moms out there. And I am excited too because my little four-legged pooch, Henry, is taking me out to breakfast. So let me know what your Mother's Day plans are for yourself or your mom. And also let me know if you have a balance trainer and you've been working on it. 2 days ago, we did our first of a series of 4 trainings, Pilates on the vibration platform. So I hope you caught that. I went through a lot of the basics of Pilates, and I'm not going to go through detail here, but I will talk about the 5 principles. And I'm just going to touch on them briefly, but I really want to encourage you to find that video, that recording. It's on YouTube. It's on the Lifepro VIP page, as well as the regular Lifepro page, but it's Pilates on vibration platforms. We have 5 principles that we want to work with in all our Pilates moves, and they really are principles that we should think about in daily function, as well as any of the equipment that we use in Lifepro. And they are breath, head and neck placement, rib cage placement, shoulder stability and mobility, and also known as scapula stability and mobility, and pelvic placement. Now, again, I went into in a lot of detail on that, and I'll continue to talk about those principles as they are emphasized in the work. But pretty much it's like, think about it like this way. When the band comes to practice, everyone tries to get in tune and play the music together smoothly and beautifully. And it's just like that in Pilates. It's a very flowing type of practice. It may not be so flowing when you first start because your head may not be in the right place, your shoulders maybe sticking up, or you can't pull them down, or you can't pull them back, or your ribs are popping. Your pelvis should be neutral and you're imprinted. So there's a lot of things that where your band, the song is a little off key. But the practice, like anything, you play an instrument and you keep practicing the instrument until that music flows. And that's just how I want you to think about your body when we do this work. So again, welcome everybody. Happy Friday. Roseann Zaft here in Scottsdale, Arizona with my Lifepro Balance Trainer. And I also have the Lifepro Squishy Ball. It's actually called a mini stability ball, but that which comes with the Balance Trainer. And I want to recommend you have that handy. I am on carpeting, and I am going to be barefoot for this work. If you are wearing socks, I would suggest you have some kind of mat underneath your balance trainer, because sometimes we have our feet on the ground and there are anchor points, and if you've got carpeting, you're going to slide. Definitely, we don't wear shoes when we do Pilates. It's either toe socks or regular socks or barefoot. I prefer to be barefoot. So let's begin without further ado. I want to take you through a series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9 exercises. And these are the same exercises I did on the on the vibration platform. This is a 4-week series, and I think I'm gonna do that every week. I'm gonna show you a series of exercises on the vibration platform, and then we'll take it and apply it to the balance trainer. I think that should work for the most part. I kind of create these things as we go along, so there might be some differences. And even if you don't have a balance trainer yet, you can pretty much do this work on the floor. Same thing if you don't have a vibration platform yet, you still can practice this work. My suggestion also when first doing this work is watch the video first. Try one of the exercises, practice it, then move on. Because if you are trying to look at me and you're turning your head and you're cranking your neck to look, depends where your iPad is or your portable device, but alignment is everything in this work. And as I mentioned in many of the classes, the live streams that I teach, head and neck placement are really key. I hear and I have experienced myself that if I am leading with my head in a lot of this work, which is, forward chin, you'll feel a lot of neck muscles working. Now, it's not to say you're still not going to feel them work when you're doing the work properly. It's just going to be a new experience. And I'll explain that as we go along. But the main thing is, be really aware of your head. And as I do with all the classes, I like to just start with the towel behind the neck and just feel the ears over the shoulders over the hips. And just kind of get a sense of where your head should be from the get-go. Because many of us, and I just taught I had about 4 or 5 private trainings before I started this live. And I'm always correcting my clients after many years of training with me. They still have the head up, the eyes are looking up. So it's a practice. Okay, let's begin. We're going to start with the first exercise, cat-cow. And that exercise does a lot of good things for us. It helps start to get our spine to flex and extend. Our spine was designed to flex, extend, rotate, and bend. So that's a lot of different things it's designed to do. So we've got to get those muscles working. Now, I'm going to show you a couple options with each of the exercises today, because some things might be better for you than others. It's not good or bad. It's just better, feel comfortable, or challenging. You're going to put the squishy ball right as close up to the pelvis as possible, and you're on your knees. Have a problem on your knees, then put a blanket under your shins to protect the patella, the kneecap. And then I'm going to come all the way over so that my shoulders are over my wrists, my knees are under my hips, and I'm going to squeeze that ball. I'm going to curl my toes under for this, but you can keep them flat. The head is nice and long, so remember what it felt like to have that towel behind your neck. You're going to pull your belly in and you're going to flat back. This is called tabletop. On an exhale, I want you to squeeze the ball and then pull the belly up and look toward the ball and push the hands into the ground to separate your shoulder blades. On the inhale, you're going to relax the squeeze of the ball. The tailbone lifts and the belly drops. But here, pay attention. You don't lift your head because that is going to crank into your neck. So I want you to think about your eyes looking forward. So let's do this 5 times. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, tuck the tailbone first, then the shoulder blades separate and the head drops. The inhale, the tailbone lifts, the belly drops, the shoulder blades slide back. Again, you're going to exhale, squeeze the ball, belly button to spine, tailbone pointing down, eyes to the belly. And then inhale, lengthen out the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back. Now, chest, collarbones push forward. You've got 3 more. Squeeze the ball, exhale, draw the thigh bones up into the hip socket, shoulder blades apart. I'm pressing into my finger pads, not the heel of my hands. And then I'm going to inhale and release the squeeze of the ball and keep drawing my shoulders back, eyes gaze forward. And let's do that again. Exhale, squeeze, tilt or tuck, feel the back run. I want you to feel like you really are dropping the tail, separating the shoulder blades, and on my fingertips, not the heel of my hands. And then inhale, and then you've got that long lengthened spine. Here's your last one. Tuck, pull the rib cage up, the shoulder blades separate, and you're looking at your belly, and then you inhale, and then lengthen. Now that's the first option. There's a more challenging one if that felt pretty easy and doable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kneel on my balance trainer, and my hands are going to be out to the side. So now my hands are over my shoulders, and my knees are under my hips. I've got a very small base. I'm going to use my toes on the ground because you see I'm kind of wobbly. My toes are my base of support. I want to squeeze this is called the dome. I want to squeeze it with my thighs, okay? Instead of the squishy ball, it's the thigh bone squeezing, okay? And let's do that 5 times. Take an inhale. Exhale, squeeze and tuck. I'm going to keep my toes down. Inhale. Try to challenge yourself and lift the toes and pull the shoulders back. And on the exhale, again, you can drop the toes down. I'm going to just try to challenge myself and push the dome away. And then inhale and draw the shoulders back. This actually is pretty challenging, but oh my gosh, a lot more muscles working, but it's doable. It's going to be a little bit lighter on your hands as well. There's not so much pressure on the hands, but my arms stay straight the whole time. And exhale. Push the dome away, round the spine. This is called lumbar flexion, thoracic flexion. And then we're going to look for lumbar extension, tailbone to the sky, shoulder blades slide to the center, heart melts. And exhale, tuck. Feel the belly squeezing. Inhale, arch. And let's do one more for good luck. I'm going to keep my toes down so I can really push all the air out. And then inhale. Great. Okay, that's our cat-cow, 2 options. Now, the next thing you want to do is start working the hips a little bit and want to fire up the glutes. So we're going to go into what's called hip rolls. Once again, pull out the squishy ball, the stability ball, and you have options here. I'm not going to do both of them. You can either be on the dome, or if you are feeling a little more advanced, you could be on the dome side down. There's a little bit more instability here. Try both. Give yourself the options there. I'm going to just stick to this one with my feet on top. Okay? So I'm going to slide down. I'm putting that ball close instead of my knees. I like to really work the ball. I'm going to make sure you can see. You'll trust me, the ball is there. You're going to squeeze the ball, okay? Now, head and neck placement is important here. So interlace your hands behind your head and just look at the ball for a second. I want you to stretch your neck out, and then you're going to take your head down, and your gaze is over your knees. Now, I'm just turning my head a little bit to look at the screen, make sure I'm in focus and position here. But now my eyes are going to look forward. Your shoulder blades are flat. So reach your hands up and flatten those shoulder blades, and then palms can be up or down. I'm going to give you variations on this. We're going to squeeze the ball. We're going to flatten the back. So I tilt my pelvis and roll up. And then I'm going to come down bone by bone. Middle back, or upper back, middle back, waistband, and then I go into my neutral. I have a little space. You can see my fingers. My fingers are coming out here. That's my neutral pelvis. So I'm going to go into imprint pelvis. Tilt, squeeze, squeeze, tilt, and lift. And your knees are reaching over your toes, and I'm resting on my shoulder blades. And then you're going to roll down bone by bone. Keep looking over your knees. You don't let go of the squeeze of that ball till you drop. I'm going to make some challenges here now. Fingertips up, take a breath in, exhale, roll up. Articulate your spine, and you're resting on your shoulder blades. Feel that. Okay, breathe in, exhale, and roll down, bone by bone. This should feel really good. We can add on there. Inhale, squeeze the ball, flatten the back. That's imprinting the pelvis. And then roll up, and then start reaching the arms up. Now, here's the next principle of rib cage placement. I do not want to pop my ribs. I want to keep them sinking in, but my tailbone curls up, okay? So ribs in, tailbone up. Arms up, and roll it down. You need some challenge that starts getting easier. Let's take that ball away. Take an inhale. There's a neutral pelvis. Imprint the sternum, imprint the belly, curl up. You're going to stay lifted. Now your hands can be heavy on the mat, and you're going to bring one leg to tabletop. Your hip is lifted. Place that foot down. The hips don't move. The other foot comes up. So we're doing what's called tiny marches, or they're not that tiny, marching in place, making one glute work and then the other. Staying lifted. When the feet come onto the balance trainer, you just make sure that you're lifted. You can even challenge yourself with both arms up. So you're really resting on the shoulder blades. The upper abs are working. Okay, let's do one more with the arms like this. Use your breath. Exhale, lift up. And then both feet are going to push in the most. So lift up, and we're going to drop down halfway, press up. Drop down. Now I'm scooping my tailbone up. Inhale, and then tilt up. You've got 4, 3. Remember what it felt like to have that ball between your thighs. 2. One more time, get a nice big lift, lift, lift. Breathe in, arms can stretch back. And now exhale, roll down bone by bone until your pinky fingers touch the ground, the tailbone touches. That's your hip roll. Roll to the side, push yourself up nice and slow. That should feel really good. Now, if you're cramping, and some people do, that means you're not using enough glutes. Your hamstrings are taking over. So that tilt is super important. Now, we'll go into the next move, which is called the ab prep. That helps with our thoracic flexion. Most people will definitely use their neck to lift their head and shoulders. So what I like about having, and let's use this ball too. I'm going to let my spine kind of melt over, put the ball between the knees on this one. Okay, there's some space there. And I'm going to hold my hands behind my head. My elbows are tight, but they're not wide open. There's a slight natural angle. And what I want to do is I just want to roll back first and let my spine hang out. Now, if you're pretty tight here in the lats and the pecs, your head may not come down, but that's why I have you holding your head so that you can cradle it and lengthen your neck. I want to still feel my chin pulling down rather than popping up. So feel the base of your neck stretching away from the spine. And let the spine just arch over in its natural extension. Now, in an ab prep, what we want to do is we want to think we're going to lift the head and shoulders, and we're going to press into the thoracic spine. I didn't change the rest angle of my back, okay? I'm going to bring the head back. Now, this is more exaggerated. We don't do this like this with the head back, but you're going to get a real feel for the thoracic flexion. You take an inhale and then exhale. Now, we're going to add on to that, okay? So I want to just keep my head normal. I'm going to flex. And I'm going to feel it right in the ribs. I don't really feel a lot in my head because I'm not laying flat. There's an angle going. Now, my neck is still working to hold my head up, but I'm not pulling my head up. I'm using this upper part of my six-pack. I'll squeeze the ball a little bit to get my pelvic floor to engage. For 3, I'm going to pull up through the pelvic floor. 2, eyes, keep looking forward. 1, and release. Now, that's one way that we do the ab prep. We can make it a little bit more challenging. I'll show you what that looks like. We're going to sit on the dome. And the head's going to go back, okay? And you can take that ball. You can put it between the knees. This is going to be a little more challenging, okay? We're going to sit up or be in neutral. I'm not letting my head drop, although it feels really good. But we're going to be flat. We're going to exhale, press, inhale. Now, my spine doesn't move. I'm really working. My abs are shaking on this. Hear my breath? I want you to breathe like that. And if you're okay with it, you come bringing the head down and exhale. 2 more. 1 more. Eyes to the sky, then eyes over the knees, and then come up. And that's your ab prep. What I love about Pilates is we do anywhere between 3 to 5 to 8, maybe 10 reps, but no more than that. You want to get in there, get it done, so to speak. Feel the motions, feel the flow of the exercise, and go work up to fatigue. Okay. Now we're going to go into completely something different called Breaststroke Prep. It's extension work. We did a lot of flexion. So in the Breaststroke Prep today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually rest my rib cage and my chest on the dome. Make sure you don't have a big belly full of food when you do this, because we're going to be pressing the ribs in but pulling the belly in, or pressing the ribs into the dome but pulling the belly in. I don't want to blow the stomach out, okay? So let's set it up. I'm going to be on my dome. My legs are going to be pretty active. So these are lazy legs, and these are active legs. My hands are going to be here at the side just to get my position. So I want to feel my belly pulling up, which is kind of weird because my ribs and my stomach are on the Bosu, but I want to feel like I can drop my, flex over and pull the shoulders back. I'm going to take an exhale and inhale. You can use your hands on this. And let me give you 3 hand positions. Here's one. You're going to slide the hands back and draw the shoulders back. Let's do 2 more of those. Arms forward, exhale, drag back. Let your head and shoulders relax. Pull it back. One more time. Keep the legs active. Now, next option. The head hangs. Look at my shoulders. They're very round. Keep the belly pulled in. I'm going to reach back toward my ankles. And I want you to feel like you're an arrow shooting out of the bow or like a cannonball. You take an inhale, you drop. And then, or actually it's exhale and inhale. Exhale, pull the belly in and inhale. One more time. Round, there's thoracic flexion, and here's extension. Now the next one is a little bit harder, so my hardest one. Your fingertips are going to be on your forehead, okay? Elbows wide, you drop down. Keep the belly pulled in. Keep the legs pushing down. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, tighten all your leg muscles and abs. And then inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, glide those shoulder blades down and lower. One more. Lift, reach back, stretch. Hands come down. Let's take a shell stretch. Toes together, knees apart. Let your head rest on the balance trimmer. Get a nice stretch there. Your head can roll a little side to side. And release. So we've done cat-cow hip rolls, ab preps, breaststroke prep, and shell stretch. That's 4 exercises. Okay, I have a question here. Mary Beth used to do yoga and love it. Have become insecure and unstable with the yoga ball. I'm thinking the balance ball might be the next Lifepro goal. Absolutely. This is so great for a lot of muscles. It's comfortable for a lot of the moves that we do here. Standing up is another different animal when we stand on the balance trainer, but we can lay on the floor and use it as a guide. However, right now, for the next exercise, the hundreds, we're going to do 2 things. We're going to do it seated, and we're also going to do it kneeling. Now, I talked about the hundreds. It's 100 breaths. You inhale for 5 counts, and you exhale for 5 counts, so it's a snit and blow. They're little snits like you're smelling a flower. And you want to emphasize the blow, and that's where your rib cage connection is, your diaphragmatic breathing, you're breathing into the ribs, okay? And the arms are pressing back. So I'm just not flapping my arms. My shoulder blades are actually drawing back. So I'm pressing up back and getting that strong connection while my ribs, I don't pop my ribs, okay? I'm pulling the ribs in. So this is core strength, ladies and gentlemen, big time. So I'm going to first do my first set of hundreds. Gosh, they're both kind of challenging. I said seated, I'm lying. We're going to lay down and do it. This is going to be an option for some of you that are okay with being on your back and coming into your ab prep position, okay? So my back is on the top of the dome. I want to feel, I'm not dropping my bottom. I want to curl my tail up. You can put the squishy ball between your thighs. Let me keep calling it that. The mini stability ball. That's the correct terminology. And here's what we do. So you can use your hands to start. Get a little stretch. Inhale. I'm going to do 50 of these, okay? Exhale, flex up. Arms reach. And we inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 2, 3, 4, 5. You can bring one leg up. Out 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring the other leg up. Okay, that was actually 60. Now, here's the next version. So I'm going to kneel. I want my Lifepro logo right in the middle. I'm gonna kneel on my dome. Now you have options here. And I'm not gonna say this is cheating, but you see my toes are down, I'm gonna pull up. You can take your squishy ball, but you don't really need to squeeze the squishy ball because what I'm doing is I'm squeezing the dome, okay? I'm trying to pucker it up. Now, I don't know even if I could do this, but I'm gonna try. I never say never. You can lift your toes up off there and squeeze the dome. Okay, I'm gonna face you because I like the way this logo is, okay? And I promise I'm not gonna try to cheat. Okay, nice and tall, zip it up, hands at your side. You're opening up the collarbones. We're gonna inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're adding some movement. So there's the instability. Whew, whew. In 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Zip it up. Not a lot of length. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 20 more. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release. So I just worked my inner thighs, my glutes, my back muscles. And we pumped 100 breaths in and out. And that increases the flow of oxygen. We burn more fat with uptake of oxygen in our body. We get rid of metabolic waste. Okay, half rollbacks. We're on our next. We've got 3 more exercises for you folks today. Okay, so a half rollback is fundamental because we do a complete roll up eventually. So I want to sit right on the dome. And once again, the mini stability ball is here. Let's see. This is a great workout. I'm glad you like it. You do reformer 5 days a week. I'll tell you what, mat Pilates or balance trainer Pilates, you are the machine. I do Pilates on reformer. Well, I teach it to clients, but I actually go to classes about 5 times a week as well. This stuff is a lot harder, and so it's going to be a good complement. You'll be stronger on your reformer because you have fundamental practices without any apparatus except these 2 things. Okay, so I'm sitting up nice and tall. I'm on the top of my dome, okay? I want to scoot forward just a little bit so I can be on the side of the dome, and the dome is that round top part, okay? You're going to squeeze that ball and put it close to your groin. You're going to get much more pelvic floor work. You're going to feel the belly pull up and in. I'm going to show you look at my wrinkles. I'm going to pull up and in. Okay, I'm sucking everything up, but I'm not popping my ribs. I'm going to pull up, and I want to keep that connection. I'm squeezing the ball to do that. Arms are straight, shoulders are down. Take an inhale, exhale, you're going to rock back. Looking toward the ball, squeezing your knees. And then let's go ahead and restack your spine. Now I've got neutral pelvis here. Now I'm going to imprint and roll back. Inhale up. I can add on and make this a little more challenging. You're going to draw the ribs back. Tuck the tail, squeeze that ball. You can see that it's almost popping up, right? Now I'm going to add the arms with it. Now I'm going to take myself up and over, flexing over the ball. Then I'm going to restack my spine. Let's do that again. 3 more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, squeeze and roll back. This is your C shape. Arms come up on the inhale. I'm going to keep this arm down to show you I'm pulling my ribs in when my arms go up. I don't want to pop my ribs. I want to keep the ribs connected as the arm goes up. This is hard stuff. And then you come up and over. Feel your glutes fire up. And then restack your spine. And 2 more times. Take a breath. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, dive over. Let your spine flex over. I'm not collapsing. I'm not hinging. I'm flexing over. Okay? And then restack. Let me do 1 more of these. I got to pull my waistband. Take a breath in. Exhale, ribs. Inhale, arms overhead without popping the ribs. And then dive over. Come over, pull the ribs back. Let the head drop heavy. Shoulders are still pulled away from the ears. And then you restack. And that's your half roll back. We will go on further and do a full roll up. But this is fundamental for the rest of the work. Get really good at this stuff. And the other stuff will still be hard, but quite doable. Spine twist. One of my favorites. When done properly. A lot of times we have this illusion that we're twisting more, but the spine twist is a upper body rotation. It is not, see my hips are moving, it is not this kind of rotation. It's meant to disassociate. You're lifting up, the rib cage lifts away from the pelvis, and your shoulders are what turns, okay? So how are you gonna do that without cheating? Well, the towel is my one prop I'll start with, and then I'll go on from there. So sit right on top of the dome on this one, guys. Get used to this, because I'm gonna make it harder, okay? You can sit in diamond shape, cross leg, or what I like to do is sit with my legs out, okay? I'm gonna take this towel, and actually I didn't tell you to have a towel, so let's take this instead. Let's take our stability ball. I'm gonna press into it to keep my shoulder connection. The ball stays at my chest. This way you know you're not cheating. So how do you cheat? When the ball moves and the arms move, but it didn't move my spine. So if I keep the ball here, I take an inhale, get tall. The inhale gives you the length. Exhale, drop your shoulders. Now you're going to turn on an inhale. Exhale, come back, get length. To the right, inhale, get your length. Exhale, back. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to add on. Inhale, lengthen. And my head goes with me. I'm rotating my spine. I'm digging my heels down. My head doesn't turn any more than my spine. Adding on. Inhale, lengthen up, and we're going to pulse 3 times. Let's exhale breaths. Inhale, rotate, exhale. Now, what I want you to feel, I'm going to show you from behind. Are my shoulders stay down? I get tall on a breath in as I rotate, and I use this shoulder to pull. 3, 2, 1. Come back to center, shoulders down, and rotate. Now it's the right shoulder. Back to center. Okay? So that's your spine twist. Now, how do we make that harder? A couple ways. Arms can go out, and you don't have anything to hold on to, so you got to really keep those arms, all the muscles hugging in, but even harder, because there's always a harder way. Let me bring my camera up just a tiny little bit so I don't get out of screen. I'm going to hug that dome again, trying to keep my feet off. Zipping up, pulling the hip bones to the ribs, make the rib cage hip bone connection, arms out. Now, when we start moving our body, everything changes. So squeeze, pull the thigh bones in, take a breath in, and you're going to rotate to your right. I'm going to bend that right elbow and pull for 3, 2, 1. Come back to center and rotate to the left and bend the left elbow and pull. 3, 2, 1, and center. We'll do 2 more. Get tall as you rotate and bend the back elbow and pull. 3, reach with the front arm. 2, 1, back to center. Keep squeezing that dome and rotate. Keep the hip bones pointing toward me. The crown of the head lifted. Last time we rotate first and we pull. My right elbow's back, my right hip bone's forward, crown of the head to the sky, back to center. Last time to the left. Rotate and pull. 3, 2, 1, back to center and relax. Once again, inner thighs, glutes, core, shoulders, everything's working. Well done. Okay, so we'll do a side bend because as I told you, your spine flexes, it extends, it rotates, and it bends. So let's add a bend to this. And this is going to be a pretty fundamental side bend. It gets harder, always, but I remember my first Pilates trainer telling me, you want to make your clients feel successful. I want you to feel that you can do this because you can. It just doesn't happen overnight. It's with practice. So you can sit in this mermaid type pose. If you're pretty tight in your hips, and we all have that tightness. I'd love for both hips to be, my outside hip is up. I'd love to get this hip down. That just takes a lot of mobility. Sometimes you have it right away, sometimes not so much. It depends on how your thigh bones are designed by the creator in your pelvis. Or it could be that you have done something most of your life that caused really tight hips, but we're changing the flexibility, okay? So you can sit here or you can sit across leg, okay? But I want you to be upright. I don't want this to happen. If you're sitting like that, put a blanket or something to prop you up, but both legs are gonna be out to the side. You can put this leg in, you can stack the legs, whatever feels right. Remember, I'm looking for this hip down. And so we're gonna keep the hand on the dome. I'm gonna round my spine over and stretch. Take your hand behind your head because the tendency for all of us is to look down. I want to feel that nice stretch. Once you got it, really reach all the way up. Stretch the fingertips, bring the hand up, and now you'll reach away. The bottom hand's gonna slide. And we're gonna counter stretch. I'm anchoring down. Okay, I'm not bending over. I'll do that again. Inhale, exhale. You're gonna melt over or mold over. Take an inhale, arm reaches up, and exhale. I'll add on to this in one more rep. And come up and over. So I'm not just dumping, okay? I'm trying to get over. I'm trying to bend. I'll hold down. I'll feel that flexion as I melt. And I'm gonna reach up to pull me off the floor. Now, from here, we'll add on. Okay, I'm gonna flex over. There's my side bend. The dome's there to help me so I don't collapse. And now we'll rotate. Both hands will be on the floor. I'm gonna kind of lift up a little bit so I can turn my chest to the ground and drop my head. This is a beautiful stretch for your back muscles, your quadratus lumborum. Well, let's add on to this. Hands come onto the dome. Push yourself up. Be careful you don't lift your chin. You're lifting your collarbones up. Now I've got rotation and extension. I'm still rotating. Now I'm going to go to flexion. I'm going to reach. I'm going to de-rotate and come back. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, pinwheel down and over. Rotate to the floor, slide the back hand wide. Flex over in your exhale, hands on the dome or the floor. If the dome's too much, put your hands on the floor, but I like the dome to push myself away. So my back hand is doing a lot of work to push me away. And then I'm going to come back over the dome, flex over, back hand comes to where the front hand is, de-rotate and come up. One more time, and I'll do this really gracefully. I'm going to come over, exhale. Inhale, stretch, exhale, rotate, inhale, lift, exhale, flex, slide that hand back, inhale, and exhale up. Okay, let's go to the other side. So I did 3 preps and 3 with rotation. Sliding the balance trainer over. How are you guys liking this? Making sense for you? If you have any questions on any stuff like this, you know how to get a hold of me. Private message me or message me on the group page. Okay, so this side for me is kind of tight. I have actually a torn labrum here, but it's not affecting this because I'm in extra rotation, but it's a little tighter. You can see that it's really hard for me to get my hip down. And I'm not going to force it. Arms overhead. Oh, Cynthia, I'm glad that you like this. I take that as a real good compliment from someone who does Pilates, that it makes sense to them. You know, there's so many people that teach, and I say this with love, but when there's a big class, it's hard to get to everyone's needs. So every now and then it's nice to hear a breakdown of how the work should happen. Shoulders are down. I can see my thumbs in my peripheral vision. I don't want to be up here. My hands are forward. I'm going to fold over, bend over. This side is more of my bendy side, believe it or not. Then I come over, I exhale. You'll find that too. One side feels really good. Check your head that you got a nice lateral bend in your neck, cervical spine. Come up, feel like you're reaching to the sky. Lift yourself up and over. And one more time, shoulders down. Reach up and over, get the side bend as much as you can, then mold yourself over the dome. Get that nice beautiful stretch. Reach up, inhale, and back. Now I'm going to add the rotation on it. Shoulders drop. Crown of the head. Get lots of space. Exhale, flex over. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, rotate. I'm going to separate my hands. I want to feel that big stretch. Hands come back. I'm going to push up my back shoulder. I'm going to look over that shoulder and see if I can get a little more rotation from my neck. And then I'm going to come back down, slide the hand, de-rotate, come on, up And get your length, because you just went over it, so now you want to lengthen it out. Take a breath in, exhale. Inhale, emphasize. Exhale, rotate. Slide the hands back. Inhale, lift. Look over your back shoulder. Belly is still pulled in, everybody. Come back over, reach. Slide it over, back and around. And we've got one more of these. Wrong hand. That's the hand. See, I can lose it really easy. Drop your shoulders. Take a big breath. And flex over. Enjoy it, everyone. This is good stuff. Lift. Feel that hip anchoring in the back. Oh, making space in the front. Pull the chin in. Your eyes can gaze up, but remember, you're not cranking. I can even hear my neck make noises when I do that. The eyes lift up. That gives you a little more thoracic extension. And then flex over. Slide the hand back. De-rotate and come up. So let's just go ahead and do a quick little extension stretch for our spine. Kind of like how we started here. You're going to let that dome rest, back rest on the dome. Take your hands behind your head and let your spine melt. Notice this might feel a lot better than we did when we first started. Straighten your legs out, flex your feet. I want nice active legs. Take a nice big breath in. If it's available for you, let your head drop and let your arms hang. Just to open everything up. I'm going to take my hair tie out of my hair. I'm going to get a big stretch, a good morning stretch. Use your hands if you need to. It's okay. But you're going to bring your arms wide, tuck the chin, exhale, and sit up. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was helpful for you. We'll be here every Friday for the next 3 Fridays. And it's all recorded on YouTube. It's my honor, it's my privilege, it's my pleasure to share my passion of living fit with you, one day at a time, one move at a time, one breath at a time, sometimes. Enjoy your Lifepro products. Enjoy your weekend. Again, happy Mother's Day to all. Roseann Zaft here from Scottsdale, Arizona. I'll see you next week.